Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Kalaripayattu. Today I'm going to teach you part 4 of the 18 hand punches. Well, the first 3 parts were about the knife hand, the fist and the elbow. And now this time I will show you some other hand punches. In the first 3 parts we have seen that I did the fists and the elbow and the knife hands in 3 different stances. So I went first here in the horse stance, I went in the lion, and I went just standing. There are 3 different. Well, this series is not so much about these 3 stances. Each punch is associated with its own stance, as it were. I give you an example. That is the first one which I want to show you today, and that is the punch which is to this part of the skull. So there's a corner in the skull here, and we are going to attack that, and then we are going to use this punch. So you keep your clench your fingers together like this in a kind of claw-like fashion. You cube it a little bit, you put it a little bit together like this, and then you go in a diagonal fashion. You're going to punch the head like this. 1, 1, 1, 1. So the impact it's making, it's like this, or this way. Now, as I said, the punch is associated with a certain stance. In this case, it is a kind of cat stance. And this cat stance, it is like this cat stance. This. So you're going to move a little bit to the right or the left, and you go down until you are on your knees. Well, you don't have to go down completely, but if you want to have the full impact of the punch, you can go down a little bit. So in this case, you give the punch like this, and you go down like this, like this, like this, like this. So on the boxing ball, it goes like this and this. Okay, number 2. That is the similar claw, only you stretch it out like this. And what you're going to do with it, punch straight in the throat. It's a very famous punch actually. You see it in many other martial arts. And it just attacks the throat. It goes right here. And there is no really a stance associated except for a straight stance like this. Because when you go in the horse stance, you get this angle, this is diagonal, this angle like this. It goes up and it loses its effect. And if you are standing in the lion like this, yeah, you're too low to reach the throat. So it is only the standing stance. You're going with this in the throat like this, this. Okay, number 3. Number 3, it is you keep your fist like this, and you put your thumb under your indication finger like this, and you give a punch in the eye, and not just in the eye, not directly in the eye, but here it goes up like this. So here in the eye socket, here, clean next to the nose, up in this direction. So it goes, if you keep it like, that's why you have to use this finger, the indication finger, the index finger, because you go to give a punch up in this direction, up, up. And yeah, this fits very nicely into the eye socket. If you have any other finger, for example, you use this one, yeah, it doesn't really fit anymore. You can do it, but it is preferably done with this one because it fits very nicely in. It gives also a little bit support here on the nose, so you bring the nose a little bit up and you can nicely reach this point. Next one is a very nasty one. And that nasty one, it goes in the eye. And you go in the eye with your thumb. So you bring your thumb like this in the eye, like this. So you push it to the back. And while you're pushing it to the back, you go a little bit in this direction, like this. Like this. You pull it up, as it were. Well, you recognize maybe in the Shakti forms, you have this stance. This. Well, this is exactly one of the techniques which can evolve from this hand. So you give a punch in the eye, like this. You go completely into the eye, and hopefully you can bring it a little bit down. Associated with that, there is another technique to attack the eyes, and that is this one. So you have 3 fingers, your index finger here, your index finger here, your middle finger here, and your ring finger here. Well, 2 of them go in the eye, like this, in this direction. You hold your third, your middle finger as a support, and you go like with this one, you go a little bit down, you go here also a little bit down. So you push it a little bit down, like this, in this direction, like this. Okay, that is another one. Then another fist will be the empty hand again, and you slap it to the face. How do you do that? You do it in this fashion. So somebody stands here with a head. So suppose this is the head of somebody. I'm going to slap the hand like this. Here to this area of the head. Like this. Or to his ear. So we have 2 targets, either here or here. Preferably, when you aim at this target, at the ear, you hollow up your hand a little bit like this. Like this. So you hollow up a little bit. That gives more effect to the ear, to damage the ear. Okay, then the last 3. Another hand punch is with the open hand. And the open hand you keep like this, and you pull in your middle finger a little bit like this. So your hand comes like this. Now, what use is that? It's a lot of use, because you can target with both hands. You can target up, and here you can again use the horse and the lion, and of course the straight up stance like this. So you can target the throat with 1 or 2 hands. You can invert your hands in this way. You go like this. You can go under the ribs, like this, with 1 hand, or with 2 hands. Well, the sky's the limit. You find out what you can do with it. There are several attacking points which are very useful with this hand. And well, basically it's nice when you get somewhere in the body. Try to get in the body, in the soft parts, and then you get hold of the hard parts, like you have a soft part here under your ribs, and you get hold of it because of the hard part of the ribs which is under it. For example, you can push it up, the whole thing, and you can get a little support from the hard part which is here on top of it. You can use that to give extra leverage to your punch. Another one with the empty hands, with the open hands, is if I keep the hands like this. Well, we can, of course, we have seen several applications for this. You see Southern style, they're using it in this way. This is a very dangerous hand, this one, in order to here on the nose, to break the nose, like this, or they aim the forehead, or the nose, or just here under the nose, or anywhere on the on the head. But of course, you can also target other parts of the body. You can, for example, push somebody backwards. How do you do that? You have two hands like this, here, and you clench your hands under your ribs, as it were, like this. So you have it here under the ribs, just under the hard part. And you push the body up, like this, in this direction. You use this knuckle here in order to bring the body up. If you're doing like this, of course, when you want to push somebody backwards, you can get extra leverage to use your hind leg in order to, like this, like this, like this. So it's a mistake to take it all out of the shoulders and the elbows, like this. This won't work really. But if you take the ribs a little bit up, and you use the hind leg up, like this, the opponent will be lifted a little bit, and then if he is up, you can push that way. He will, because he is up, he will a little bit roll into the air, and he will most likely fall down if you do it right. So this is one application of it. There are several other applications, but empty hand, it is a very dangerous weapon. My countryman Bas Rutten, he always used this in the ring, and he is, according to me, one of the best MMA fighters ever lived. For me, he is actually #1. You should check out his games, his videos, and you will see he always uses his empty hand to finish off his opponents. Okay, and at last, but not least, is my favorite, or one of my favorites, and that is the tanjam, as you call it in Malayalam. A tanjam is basically a defense like this. You see it when I do the lion. You see me going up like this, like this. So this is the tanjam. This. And the tanjam is actually a very dangerous and very effective weapon, and as defense, but also as an attack. So suppose somebody comes with a punch here. All I have to do is keep my hand like this. His arm will flow over it, and I have here an open space to attack him. So you always use two hands for this. So the tanjam, with the one hand, you open him up, and with this hand, you're going to punch. You can punch in his crunch, like this. Well, but the secret lies in this hand. This hand, as you can see in some other martial arts, or what I've seen performers of these martial arts doing, they keep the hand something like this, with 90 degrees. It should not be 90 degrees. Take care, it goes like this. This is the most effective. So you have something like a 30 degrees angle like this. A 30 degrees angle. And with that, if you have that, you can play with your with the bone, which is here, and with this bone here. So if somebody attacks, you can, for example, punch your this bone here in his throat, like this. So it goes like this. That in itself is already a nice, effective attack. So when your opponent is here, he's going to punch you. So you punch like this, for example, with a hook usually. You nicely dive like this. Keep your hand also a little bit in an angle like this. So not only this angle, but also this angle, a little bit upwards to the sky. And the force should be that way. So this way, in an angle, like this, in a diagonal way, as it were. So whatever he's doing, he's throwing a punch at my face. So what's going to happen, I'm giving a tanjam under it, in this way. I attack immediately his throat, like this. And of course, when he gives a punch, this will go back. So there will be an opening here. But suppose he's a very good fighter. He doesn't give me an opening. He immediately comes with an attack, because I'm also open here. But it doesn't matter, because I can push his counter-attack into his body. The result is the attack which remains here from my tangent attack. This remains 1. Okay? Or that's in case when he's fast enough. If he's not fast enough, you will do this at the same time. 1, 2, 1, 1. And of course, 2, 3. You can exercise like this. So it is all about right angles. Again, it's so important. Don't take it 90 degrees, take it 30 degrees. This angle should be 30 degrees, or this angle should be 150 degrees. And then don't take it straight like this, but take it a little bit up like this, in this angle, like this. Use this one, use this one. Of course, you can also indeed use this, your elbow when it goes in it. It's just the turn. You turn a little bit. First, the elbow will hit the opponent, then your hand will hit the opponent. Turn like this. It is very effective and a very useful way of defending and attacking at the same time. Well, with these words, I thank you for watching, and please, if you have enjoyed this video or you thought it was useful, press the like button, press the subscribe button, and spread the word. This is Kalaripayattu. Good evening.